Hello everyone, can you guess where I am now? So behind me is the law school located at Fox Hill campus. And I'm still at University of Reading, by the way. So I'm going to start with providing the learning outcomes for the continuation from topic 1. At the end of today's lesson, you have an understanding of the concept of law, higher sources of law, common law equity, as well as hierarchy of courts. So when we talk about law, we generally need to know when law is applicable. So you guessed it right, law is applicable all the time, governing everything actually, governing every human activities and human conduct. So some people might argue when a law is created, it can be coercive, but on one hand, it can be protective because you want to protect the citizens from unwanted harm. Some may also argue that it is facilitative. Without law, everything will be in chaotic mode. Law essentially exists it's not limited to what I've provided on the slides, but it can be beyond than that. So, but what I've highlighted is just a few where law is created is to maintain public order, to ensure the safety of the citizens, to protect individual rights on what they can or cannot do, with regards to control of the government itself, the government power, political sphere, to regulate economic activities when we mention about international trade, and also regulate human relationship. So what is legal system? So when we talk about law, it's different from legal system. So legal system basically is a set of system that is governing the application of law in certain countries. So essentially, we're talking about how a country provides set of rules in order to govern the activity of a state. So certain countries apply common law system, whereas other countries apply civil law system. When we talk about common law system, we are bound by certain set of precedents or examples done by our predecessor, what they have done previously. So it will follow down by the successor. We'll just continue adapting it and alter it when it's needed. So the procedure or process in creating and enforcing law is very interesting because you learn some in constitutional law itself and some in English legal system. So you would know if you have previous knowledge with regards to the constitutional law. When we talk about common law system, it consists of parliament, executive, and judiciary. So all of these bodies have their own entity and their own power in what they can and cannot do. So when we talk about parliament, you always need to remember parliament is the highest source of English law. Parliament creates law, whereas judges, they do create law, but only to a certain extent. They cannot overrule the law created by the parliament. So the parliament is considered as the supreme law. So as Dicey emphasized this, no person or law recognized by the law of England, in fact any country, that can override the legislation of the parliament. The reason being is that parliament is democratically elected by the people, hence when the law is passed, it's by the people for the people. Whereas a judge, when they make law, is based on the interpretation of the legislation itself. So this is the example, the hierarchy of courts itself, where the Supreme Court is the highest court, and then you have the other courts which needs to adhere the decisions made by the Supreme Court. So you have magistrate courts as the lowest one, and to deal with criminal matters, it goes to Crown Court, whereas civil matters will go to Civil Court. So if parties want to appeal, they can go to High Court, subsequently Court of Appeal. But in UK or in common law system, you only have 2 levels of appeal. So if your case starts at magistrate, you can appeal to Crown Court, and the last one will be High Court. If your case starts at the High Court, then you can appeal to Court of Appeal, and lastly to Supreme Court. So now this is the interesting part, because some students will get confused when there's equity comes into place, where common law comes into place. Equity has a very unique characteristics. Essentially, it comes in order to provide additional outcomes, like for example, special performance or injunction, in addition to damages claimed by the parties. So the purpose is essentially to assist the party by giving a fair or just outcome. So by viewing this video, it gives you a gist of what is common law, civil law system, and the highest source of law, and the application of equity itself. So do attend lectures in order to get more knowledge with what has been covered just now. Thank you.